Yo, it's the Casual Cube, and for tonight's FNM, for Friday Night Magic, week number 6 of the Guilds of Ravnica meta, I'm going to be bringing a kind of a jank control Boros control deck, using Firesong and Sunspeaker, seeing it from, LegenVD and SuperLadMan. I think it's kind of the perfect jank mix for me personally. I just think it's kind of hilarious. Both of them kind of took different approaches to, their builds, but I'm going to adopt kind of both of their ideas and kind of mishmash it into my own for my own local FNM meta. My deck is probably definitely not as good as either of these guys' lists, but at the same time, it's it's just casual FNM fun. So I'm also not going to be using the expensive dual lands. I'm just going to be using the budgets like Stone Quarry and Boros Guildgate, simply because I don't know if I want to drop the money on the dual lands for this particular deck. I still kind of got to decide what my main deck is. My main deck that I pour in all my money. So I don't know what that is yet. I'm still kind of exploring different play styles, mono-colored. I'm also doing the Planeswalker deck challenge. So I have a lot of funds that are I kind of want to diversify my my MTG spending to various different kind of decks and products. Another being the game nights, that kind of board game, the 5-man board game. So let's actually get into the deck list. So the main interaction with Firesong and Sunspeaker is your red instants and sorceries get lifelink. And on top of that, anytime you have a white instant or sorcery give you life, you can deal 3 damage to a target creature or player. Now, the cool thing about this is if the spell is both white and red, you can essentially get a lot of value from this one card. So, for instance, on the left here, on Intervention, I'll actually show you a clip from LegenVD's video that I'll link down below in the description. You can essentially use Intervention. It's both red and white, so now it has lifelink. So the Intervention will deal 3 damage. You get the lifelink with that 3 damage, the initial 3 damage. And then on the back half, because you gained lifelink and you gained life from it, you gain 6 life total. You get another 3 damage. So you get the 3 damage from that lifelink, from the initial 3 damage, and then you get another 3 damage on the back end on that just plain, and you gain 3 life. So essentially, with these 2 cards, with Firesong and Sunspeaker and the Intervention half, it's kind of a combo where you get 9 damage total and you gain 6 life. Now over here on the other end, on Response and Resurgence, this was actually not in LegenVD's build, but he built it in a different way. Decks, I think they need constant repetition, and you constantly got to play it to kind of refine it to your own personal playstyle as well as to your own local meta, or I guess the online meta. And LegenVD, I'm not going to question his deck building, but he did skip out on Response and Resurgence. But Response essentially is going to deal 5 damage to target attacking and blocking creature. Now I understand why he probably didn't like it, is because it is conditional removal where it has to be attacking or blocking creature. But essentially, it's both white and red, so it's going to deal 5 damage. It's going to gain lifelink. You're going to gain 5 life, deal 5 damage, and then on top of that, because you gained life, because it is a white spell, you're going to get 3 damage on top of that to any to target creature or player. So it's just a really fascinating combo. It's complete jank. Firesong and Sunspeaker, by the way, are the buy a box promos. So it was definitely not on the power level of the Turbo Fog card, Nexus of Fate. But it's perfectly affordable if you want it. I think it's mainly used as a commander card, but honestly, for this standard meta for FNM, I'm going to have a blast playing with it. So let's actually take a look at LegenVD's deck list. And if you actually put it into paper, including the 4 Clifftop Retreats, the 4 Sacred Foundries, 2 Fields of Ruins, in my case, I'm not pouring all my money into that yet. I don't know if I want this to be my main deck. So the price in paper is about $130 to $135 on TCG Player, at least for US dollars. And as you can see here, he has the Integrity Intervention. He has the 4 Firesongs and Sunspeakers. I'm actually going to run only 3 because I think it is kind of heavy if you run into multiple copies in your opening hand with the Firesong and Sunspeaker. So I'm only going to run 3. But as you can see here, he also has the Lyra Dawnbringers. He has the Cleansing Novas, the Deafening Clarions. Those definitely add up in price because those are really strong board sweepers right now for control, for like Jeskai control, and I'm sure once the next batch of Ravnica cards comes out, maybe Cleansing Nova will go down in price because the Azorius, the blue-white guild, will probably get a board sweeper as well. But as you can see here, he's rocking a lot of board sweepers. He's also rocking Justice Strike, which does not have that interaction with Firesong and Sunspeaker, unfortunately, but it's still really solid removal against things like Doom Whisperer or even like Lyra Dawnbringer, against maybe a mirror match against Jeskai control or whatever. But here he uses Revitalize because it's gain 3 life and you draw a card. So if you have Firesong and Sunspeaker out, you gain 3 life and you can deal 3 damage and also draw a card. And of course he has the staples of Fountain of Renewal and Dawn of Hope for the early game. So yeah, that's his build, and if you want to see it in action, I'll have a link in the description down below. And let's actually take a look at the gameplay real quick.
Firesong, it's a legendary, so don't want to have 2 of them in play. Alright, so with this turn we can probably intervention the Hawk. And then kill this, and then we'll pay 2. Play land, say go.
Alright, so as you can see there, I'm sorry about the audio, by the way, I'm still figuring out OBS, so I'll get that fixed up in the next video, but yeah, as you can see there, pretty cool interaction, and I like that kind of jank, so I built it for FNM tonight. And let's move on into SuperLadMan's video, which I always say Super Mad Lad by accident every time I'm thinking of his name, but I really like his YouTube channel because I think he's just kind of hilarious, just him talking. But the actual combo that he also included on top of the Firesong and Sunspeaker is this, crazy jank Truefire Captain along with Star of Extinction combo. And it's funny because I was watching his gameplay videos and it took him a while to actually pull off this combo. So I'm not going to go all in like he did, where I think he has like 3 or 4 copies of Star of Extinction. We'll see in the deck list here in a second. But it's just an absolutely hilarious jank combo, and it's only 2 cards. So now, of course, you do got to get the Truefire Captain on the board. It is only 3 toughness. I get that, but at the same time, I mean, just look at it. It is so juicy if you can pull this off, where you get the Star of Extinction on top of your own Truefire Captain and deal 20 damage straight to their dome. I mean, it's just, it's I don't know, it just sounds, I just want to pull it off in an FNM so badly and just look at my opponent's face as he sees the Wombo combo. So let's take a look at his deck list. Now, in this case, he decided to go with a lot more, like the Lava Coils, the Lightning Strikes. Right now, we're in a very strong meta where, a lot of 4 toughness creatures, so the Lava Coils are definitely relevant. He has the Response Resurgence, but he does not have the Integrity Intervention along with the Firesong and Sunspeaker. So it's kind of interesting. Both of these guys, they have different builds, while at the same time kind of having similar ideas. SuperLadMan, he went with the treasure maps, which is, in paper, it's going to add up in price. So I decided to go with the Dawn of Hope and Fountain of Renewal, and, kind of go with that kind of build where you have the token generator with the Dawn of Hope as well as the life gain trigger with the Fountain of Renewal to draw cards. But treasure map, definitely a great engine to get through your deck. And again, he goes through with some Deafening Clarions. He doesn't go with the Cleansing Novas, but you can see there's a lot of control elements in this as well with Ixalan's Binding. He has 1 Lyra Dawnbringer. He even includes, 2 Jaya Ballards, which I actually did take inspiration because, that actually could, you can filter through your deck. You can draw cards, discard them. And on top of that, the emblem is actually really, really strong. And I've actually seen his gameplay where he does manage to get the emblem off. And I actually think that's the reason why he goes with Lava Coils and Lightning Strikes, just because if you do emblem your Jaya Ballard, if you ultimate her and get the emblem, you can cast these from your graveyard. So that's pretty awesome. But in this case, he goes with the 3 Star of Extinctions. I just think that's a little bit too much. Of course, the 7 mana play is really hefty and standard. It's really expensive. It's going to take a while for you to get there. You got to make your land drops. But on top of that, it's just, I kind of want this to be a secondary win condition. The Truefire Captain with the Star of Extinction, it's very juicy. It sounds good to pull off, and if you want to be consistent and really trying to pull off your strategy, you want to run full play sets. But in this case, in my build at least, I'm only going to have it as a secondary win con, and my primary win condition is going to be a little bit different. It's mainly going to be Firesong and Sunspeaker, but I'm also going to throw in some Ajani's Pridemates along with the Fountain of Renewal, see if that can be a potential early game blocker. It slowly grows and as you gain life, and maybe that can be a win condition. So, and of course, I'm not going to drop money on Lyra Dawnbringer simply because I don't know if I'm going to be if this is my main deck or whatever. But yeah, let's actually take a look at his gameplay and how he pulled off the Truefire Captain with the Star of Extinction.
Oh god, we played so suboptimally up to this moment. Star of Extinction hit your land. Is he slow rolling us? Or have we just won? Oh god. Oh god. It's a land in it. You've got a land in hand. This is amazing. This is just truly amazing on all levels. You are dead, sir. You are very dead.
So yeah, as you can see there, it's a pretty epic scene, seeing that giant meteor crash into your own dude, and then you can direct it at your opponent's face. But if you actually watch his gameplay videos, I think he has like 3 or 4 videos. Well, one of them is a deck tech, but he has 3 videos of gameplay, and it actually takes him a while to pull off this wombo combo. So that's kind of the reason why I kind of just wanted to be an ace in the hole, where the Star of Extinction, we only have 1 copy. I'm only going to run 1 copy, and then we run 3 Truefire Captains, and then potentially we have that combo in the deck if. Just in case, by some miracle we pull it off. But it's not going to be our primary win condition. It's simply just going to be a secondary win con. But yeah, let's actually take a look at my builds. Again, it doesn't have the expensive dual lands, unfortunately, just because I want to spread my, my income and my economy through other paper products. But that doesn't mean I won't invest into the dual lands maybe later on. But yeah, let's actually take a look at my deck in paper, along with the sideboard. These guys, I think SuperLadMan, he has a sideboard, but I didn't include it with the price and paper, simply because, every sideboard is going to be different to your local FNM meta. So I'll show you mine, though. Mine's a little bit weird. You'll see in a second here. Alright, so let's take a look at the deck in paper for tonight's FNM. It's kind of a budget version compared to the previous 2 lists from LegenVD as well as SuperLadMan. It's running about $65, including the sideboard, and that's because I'm not running, Lyra Dawnbringers or the expensive dual lands. This is, I guess, if you want to say budget, it's a budget version of their decks. So, yeah, let's divvy this deck up, and I will show you kind of my, I guess, mini budget build. It's, $60, $65. I wouldn't consider budget, but, I'm just not sure if I want to buy into the dual lands just yet, but if I want to build Boros Angels, I probably will. But anyways, yeah, let's take a look at the creatures. I'm starting off with Ajani's Pridemate, along with Fountain of Renewal, Dawn of Hope. Firesong and Sunspeaker is going to give our red spells lifelink. There's a lot of lifelink triggers for Ajani's Pridemate to get big. I just think it's an early game play as a blocker and could potentially be a game-winning threat. You never know. So I'm going to experiment with that. Only going to include 3 Truefire Captains, even though I'm a sucker for wombo combos. I'm only running 1 copy of Starfire or Star of Extinction. So the Truefire Captain, I think, is just a nice, solid secondary win condition. It does have the 3 toughness, but it does have 4 power, so it could potentially mentor a lifelink token. I don't know. We shall see. And then the 3 copies of Firesong and Sunspeaker, even though this is the deck build around, I just think having a full play set of the Firesong and Sunspeakers is a little bit too much, because if you draw into multiple copies early, You know, it's a 6 mana play, clogs up your hand a little bit. I just think it's something that, even though the deck is built around this card, I just think we're going to play 3 sets, or 3 copies. But yeah, take a look at that sweet foil. The armor is just looking sweet. But yeah, so that's 10 creatures right there. Going into our non-creatures, so we have 4 Fountain of Renewals, as well as the 4 Dawn of Hopes. So the synergy between these cards is pretty obvious. You gain the life on your upkeep, and then every time you gain life, you can pay 2 and you can draw a card. And also later in the game, you know, if we have 4 mana or even 8 mana, we can start generating lifelink 1/1 tokens. So I think that's pretty sweet. So that's right there. Yeah. And then we're going to have 2 Lava Coils just to deal with 4 toughness creatures or Arclight Phoenix, Rekindling Phoenix, anything that we need to exile. We're only going to run 2 in the main deck. We're going to have 3 Ixalan's Bindings, just for, you know, maybe Teferi. It's just good solid enchant removal that, you know, they can't cast spells with the same name as the exiled card, which I think is pretty nice. We're going to run 1 more additional copy from the sideboard. And then here we go with the combo pieces with Firesong and Sunspeaker. We're going to run full play sets of Integrity Intervention. On the Intervention half, you know, deals 3 damage. Firesong and Sunspeaker triggers because our red spells get lifelink. So we're going to gain 6 life total, and we're going to deal 9 damage. Because it deals 3 damage initially, lifelink for the 3. Because we get lifelink off of that initial 3, Firesong and Sunspeaker triggers again, we can deal 3 damage, and on the back end you gain 3 life. Firesong and Sunspeaker triggers, we deal another 3 damage. So that's 9 damage total for 6, and we gain 6 life. So it's a full play set right there. And moving on into Response Resurgence. Now this, you know, I don't know if it's as good as Lightning Strike, because Lightning Strike you can aim towards any targets, including the opponent's face. In this case, it is conditional that it has to be a target attacking or blocking creature, but the fact that it's both red and white, so it works really well with Firesong and Sunspeaker synergy. Red spells give us lifelink, and anytime we have a white spell that gives us life, it triggers. So we're going to deal 5 damage to attacking or blocking creature, gain 5 life, and then deal another 3 damage to target creature or player. And then I'm not going to neglect Resurgence. You know, if we have a board presence, it might be a win condition, so you never know. It's a full placer right there. Kind of taking the place of Lightning Strike, even though I don't have any Lightning Strikes in the sideboard or in the main deck. It's kind of the substitute, I guess, for the synergy with Firesong and Sunspeaker. Going to include 1 Divine Visitation and 1 Star of Extinction. I opened these in packs. I didn't, you know, buy these, so I'm only going to run 1 set or 1 copy of each. 1 Star of Extinction for that wombo combo potential. Also a 7 mana play. I just think it's a nice secondary win condition. It's not our primary one. If we can pull this off with this Truefire Captain, that's amazing, but if not, that's okay. We can still clear the board on any Planeswalkers. In this case, with Divine Visitation, we have the Dawn of Hopes. But yeah, anytime we can Dawn of Hope for 4 mana, we're going to get a 4/4 Angel token, so this could be another win condition. And we're going to have 2 Jaya Ballards just to filter through our deck. We can discard up to 3 cards, and then draw that many cards. Also, if we can ultimate her, that'd be pretty sweet, but it's mainly primarily going to be used for that funneling through our deck. And that right there is, what I think, 35 non-lands. And then for the lands, you know, again, I need to invest into the expensive dual lands. Again, I'm not sure if I'm gonna, you know, if this is my main deck just yet. I know I spent about $65, but I'm also going to be using a lot of these white cards and red cards in different other decks. So, but in this case, yeah, 3 Boros Guild Gates, 3 Stone Quarries, just 6 dual lands that enter the battlefield tapped. Also going to include 2 Memorial to Glories, so we have 8 lands that enter the battlefield tapped. In this case, it's going to combine really well with the Divine Visitation, where we can pay 4 and get 2 1/1 white creature soldier tokens. That could potentially be 2 4/4 flyer angel tokens. So yeah, I'm going to include 2 of those, and then got the basic lands, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 plains, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mountains. So yeah, there, that is the deck right there. Let's go into the sideboard. Okay, moving on into our sideboard. We're going to include 3 Sealaways. Just a good removal for creatures that are attacking. You know, Arc like Phoenix, or just any early game creatures that get out of hand, Goblin Chain Roller or whatever. I'm going to include 2 additional copies of Lava Coil, so 2 in the main and 2 in the side. Again, anything that has 4 toughness that we need to exile. Rekindling Phoenix, Arc like Phoenix, stuff like that. Or, you know, like a Golgari Fine Broker or something, I don't know. We're going to include 4 Citywide Bust. This is specifically for the Stompy player that shows up on my FNM. You know, Steel Leaf Champion, Nullhide Ferox. I think he plays with Galtas. But yeah, it's mainly against him. Or any other deck that's running, I don't know, any 4 toughness spam creatures. This could even be used against the Is It Drake's deck, against Enigma Drake, as well as the Crackling Drakes. It might not be as useful against Arc-like Phoenix, but we should have some answers for the Arc-like Phoenix with things like Seal Away or Lava Coil. But yeah, 4 copies might be too much, but I don't know. Gonna experiment with it. The sideboard is something that I'm constantly refining towards my FNM. And my sideboard is definitely not completely optimized, as you'll see here, with some crazy stuff. But yeah, the 4th copy of Ixalan's Binding, the 3rd copy of Jaya Ballard against the control matchup, if we can, you know, rely on it. You know, both of these for the control. And then a Fall of the Thran. This is just a copy that I thought was just, I don't know, I mean, it's a card that, it's just interesting to me. It's a 6-mana play, it's a saga. The first trigger is destroy all lands, so in my mind, this is how I'm envisioning it. I'm envisioning that we have board presence against the control deck, and if they let this resolve, it destroys all their lands. They can't do anything on their turn. They're slowly trying to regroup their lands, and then we already have board control. So that's kind of the reason why I'm playing with this card. It's one of those funky cards that I just want to play with, so I'm putting 4 in the sideboard against the control matchup. But you never know, it might be literally the worst thing ever. So, but yeah, that is my sideboard, and yeah, that's the deck and paper.